Growing up, a lot of us spent a lot of time watching Nickelodeon, and more specifically, the show Drake and Josh. In today's video, we're going to be catching up with what's going on between Drake and Josh. Drake or Josh. Josh has a podcast called The Good Guys. We're going to be checking out and reacting to their conversations about what happened at Nickelodeon and the scandals involving that. And we're going to be breaking it down here. Link to the original video down in the description below if you like my commentary and my thoughts and conversations that we have here on this channel. Consider subscribing, liking. With that all out of the way, get your keyboards ready because I'm ready to see you in the comments. Let's get to it.
Watching the documentary and sort of what you were brave enough to share and to explain, which I could never have known at that age, was all the things you were going through and facing.
Yeah.
And because for the most part it wasn't shared with me, this separation started between us.
It's interesting, like,
which, by the way, there's a show or a Netflix documentary is it Netflix? No, HBO Max. So Argus Max has a documentary that talks about, God, I forgot his name. It's the creepy director producer that did iCarly and Drake and Josh, and he like would take pictures of these kids' feet and stuff. So yeah, and how they might have had some PDFs on the set with kids, which is kind of crazy, which is funny because Mr. Beast kind of did that too. Weird. The whole cycle is kind of weird. Anyway,
as we talk about our relationship, you know, from Drake and from Amanda's show, you know, and I don't know if this is like just because, you know, we've made a lot of bad choices in our lives, or if or if it's just from trauma. But
yeah,
I have a lot of trouble remembering a lot of things. And things come back as people say things, and I'm like, oh, I forgot. Oh my gosh, I remember that. Like, you know, I was talking to you. Remember Jill? Remember my girlfriend Jill?
Yeah, ex-girlfriend.
I was talking to her the other day, and you know, she had mentioned there's something that I do just for for comfort as an adult, and she mentioned something, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's why I do like that, like, you know. So sometimes things come back. But what I was saying was from Amanda's show, that was the time when we were hanging out and like going bowling and like staying at each other's places, and you come to my mom's house and like we do that. And then as that big break between Drake and Josh and Amanda's show is when I told my mom what was going on.
Ooh, this got dark. I mean, it is a dark topic. I don't know why I acted like it's not supposed to be, but I guess the timeline is what shocked me. How he kind of waited till till that first show was over to tell her, which is kind of like, I don't know. It's just crazy.
We went to the police. The investigation, all of the stuff that you saw in the documentary, that was when all of that was going on. And then when we shot the pilot, we were in the middle of the investigation, but nobody had known anything because Brian hadn't been arrested.
Right.
So I had to come back from where, like the Amanda show, where the dude was, where the abuse was happening. You know.
Yes.
The worst part about it being that was my having the monster in your own in your safe place. You know, it's like that's the only place I feel comfortable is when I get to set and hang out with you guys and we go goof around and put on our masks and wigs and makeup and, you know, make people laugh and slide around and get dirty. Like that's where I feel safe. But it's like it sucks because it's like shit that, like, you know.
Yeah. Nowhere.
My house isn't where I feel safe.
Yeah.
You know, at home. I mean, I did. I mean, I didn't have like abusive parents or anything. You know, I had a difficult, you know, divorced parents, whatever. But still, where I felt most comfortable, where I was the happiest, was when I was on set with you guys. And
so, I mean, he's really not. I think he just doesn't know what to say or how to say it. But I see what he's saying. He's basically the guy that they were investigating because they hadn't arrested him yet, he still had to go to work with them. I mean, that's kind of real life, but you're probably saying, well, that's not a big deal. Adults do that all the time. They go to work with people they don't like all the time. But you got to understand, like, this is a kid, right? I'm pretty sure when he was doing it, or was he an adult? I don't even remember because he's always been pretty old. But anyway, it doesn't change the fact that there was other kids that still were going through that same situation and still had to go to work.
And the worst part was every day I got there, there was the monster was there, you know? And so that was the worst. Mm-hmm. So now there's this whole break. I go into the most insane, just mental breaks and just everything that were the investigation. And it's crazy, you know? And then we do the pilot. Because he hadn't been arrested when we did the pilot.
And we're like 14.
Yeah, and so now I'm...
Okay, so he is a kid. He just looks the same the whole time. I'm sorry, he's like talking about his trauma, but I can't get over how he's looked the same all these years. He looks exactly the same.
Coming back, he hasn't been arrested, and I don't know if you remember, but he came and visited during the pilot. And I got him, and I made sure, and that was an issue, but I still had to play like, hey, cool, whatever, like, wow. You're about to get arrested, bro.
Yeah.
And you don't even know, and he's like walking around set like during the pilot, and so now I haven't really like vocalized this or thought about this really, but when I think talking about a relationship is triggered this like thought. He's like, now I'm entering the Drake and Josh phase where we should be like, bro, like partners, like this is our time, like let's be in this together, let's like, you know, this is just the first step, like first it's a show, then we could do this, and like been like really like our bonding. But I came back to the same stage, the same parking lot, the same dressing rooms, the same green room, the same makeup rooms, the same, it's like...
Everything's triggering.
Yeah, so now, and in the back of my head, the whole time I'm working with...
Oh, so, what do you, for those, I don't know why I'm just like translating what he's saying, but yeah, I think that's what he's trying to get at is that in moments that they should have been growing closer because they were together on that show, and that's kind of what Josh was asking is like, no, we technically should have grown closer. But instead, in that time, we grew apart. And it's the idea of, well, he's going through this investigation, all this stuff. So he's always stressed. There's a level of stress that just makes you uncomfortable. And, you know, I'm assuming maybe he might even say that Josh, because he was a part of the environment, even though it might not have been his fault, part of the environment, he might have, you know, subconsciously pushed them away. I think that's honestly, I mean, it's not out of the realm. Like, it actually kind of makes sense if you're trying to cope with what's going on and just trying to make it by while also still doing the craft and the job you want to do. Because I'm going to be honest, if, you know, kids, anybody would want to be an actor, and to throw it away, it's kind of tough. You know, what would you do? You know, I don't know. Kind of feel bad for him. I really do.
During the pilot, I know that there's this investigation happening. I know that this guy's about to get arrested. I know that shit's about to hit the fan, and nobody in here knows it.
Yeah.
And I'm 14 or 15, and I'm like, got this whole production, this whole crew. He shows up one day, strolling onto set, walking around. Everyone's talking, and I'm sitting there going, none of you have any idea what is in process right now and what's about to happen.
And are you furious that here we are surrounded by all these adults, teachers in theory, people that should have been protecting us, protecting you, and that no one did that?
At that time, no. Because at that time, I'm an adult. You know, I'm no. In my
14-year-old
head. I want to be not I'm adult. That was a wrong way to say it. I want to be an adult, right? I want to be seen.
see. That's actually a really good point. I think, guys, if there's anything we got to take out of this so far, it's that one. That part right there. Again, I haven't seen this, so I don't know what he's going to talk about. But so far, that point's very important because, how do I put this into context? So sit with me and really hear what I'm about to say, because this is actually really huge, and I think it has a bigger impact in our lives, especially now more than ever. Okay, like hear me out. So you have these kids and these actors who want to be a part of the bigger show. They want to be the adults. They want to be treated equally. They want that status, but not as a kid, but as an equal, right? So that's why he's not perceiving things the correct way, not because it didn't hurt him. It did hurt him what happened to him. Not that he wasn't scared, because he was. Not that he wasn't stressed, because he was. It's because when he was 14, he wanted to be equal. And so it makes you wonder if that's what a Hollywood trap does. What do I mean by this? Does Hollywood, with kid actors, do they purposely build the system for these kid actors to mentally think that specific way, to try to be equal? So then maybe they convince themselves that these things are okay. Because I say this, because look at what's going on now with kids who want to make, I want to be YouTubers. I want to do this. I want to do that. And then when these they grow up and then they turn 18, and what do? They start making content that's not appropriate for, I mean, not that it's not appropriate. It's just like they do some adult content right away. And it's like, why? Why? Like, why mentally is that the first thing you want to do when you turn 18? You're ruining your life. I guess some people make it and they make a bunch of money. I can't judge it. I'm you know what? They more successful than I am, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is that mentality actually trying to get money, trying to succeed? Or is it trying to be seen as equal in the form of entertainment, regardless of what it is? Again, I have not seen this video, so there might be some deeper meanings and deeper things going on. I just think that point right there, you can connect. It might have not. It seems like it is a big deal, but it seems so far away because it's Hollywood. But I think it's happening more now with like TikTok and social media. Okay, let me know in the comments if you agree. I think it's more extreme now.
Seen as an adult, I want to be. I'm an actor. Like, exactly. I want to be able to be sitting I don't want to be at the kids' table. Like, sure. Exactly. Just because I'm 14, 15, like I'm an actor. I want to be with my peers and and so you don't really notice it that much. But as you grow into an adult, we're dads now. Yeah. I think it's so illuminating. It's unbelievably illuminating to see like how now it's really confusing.
Yes.
Now it's very confusing.
Well, to your point,
to how there could be that many people around and not do anything. Like now that we have our kid, I'm like, what? Like,
it's beyond.
It's great. It's just crazy.
I had a feeling because Brian, who was ever present during the Amanda show, and then
that's another thing too. You can kind of like, it was like ever present, right? Like just everywhere that.
Which is kind strange. Of the story for people like that. Mm-hmm. And then he was gone, and I didn't know anything except I had a feeling something happened. And I remember we're in the car. It was you, me, and Jill. And I said, "You still talk to Brian?" And you just looked at me like, "No, Brian's a really bad guy." And I remember thinking, gotcha. And it was all that I needed to know. And I didn't know anything more than that, but I was like, That's clear.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't talking to people like that. Like, you know, I think because we were so close that I was like, you're one of the cats that, like, I'm not going to maybe divulge, but, like, you need to know now that that's not a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I remember, I think it was months after this, I got a text from someone who worked on the show saying, Brian's arrested.
Wow.
He's going to jail. And I think through my simple teenager mind, I just thought, oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, thank God he's going to jail. Good. Like, and it's only in watching the doc that I can realize that just him being put to justice, which thank God he was and deserved to go longer. But, like, what about you?
Yeah.
What about the trauma you endured?
Yeah.
It's so much deeper. It's so much more unacceptable than all that. It's not this clean, well, he went to jail, so everyone's all better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's he's making a good point. It's kind of I mean, I don't know. Like, I wanted to compare it to now. But at the same time, it's like, is it worse now? Is it better now? I honestly, like, I don't even know. Oh, I wanted to give a good, confident answer. But as soon as I was like, I'm going to say something, I immediately was like, how would you even know if it's things like this are better? Like, it's like better off now. Like, are the industries safer? Like, is the entertainment industry safer as a whole than it was 10 years ago? In my mind, I would like to think so. But I feel like, maybe it's just my gut feeling, but I feel like it's dramatically worse. Am I the only one that feels that way? Where, like, you feel like it's way worse now, even though we're talking about things like this more often. But it always feels like it's so far away. I don't know.
Yeah, and you know, it was hard, I think, during that time because when we went to court, the entire side of his courtroom was full of people who I thought were my friends and people who I looked up to, people whose careers I would like mine to be one day. And I'm like on the side with like Robert and Roy, and I think it was me and my mom. I think Michael might have been there. It's hard to see that's where the memories like kind of get fuzzy.
Yeah.
I think Michael was there. But that man, I had a good point here. But anyway, seeing
the idea of having to think in your mind. So, like, imagine in your mind you're doing the right thing, because you are, right? In this specific situation, you're doing the right thing. And all the people who may not have been directly involved with what happened to you or some others, you would think that they would be better and not a part of the problem if given the opportunity to be a part of the problem. So now you're stuck in the situation where who are these people, and who are the people around me, really, you know? I think that's the point he was trying to make. Seeing that was like, wait a minute, most of the people I looked up to and was trying to be like are sitting on the other side defending the guy.
That side of the courtroom was like, okay, so is it just because we think it's wrong? And I mean, it got to be this whole thing of like, wait, but no, he's the bad guy. You should be over here. No, wait, are we the, like, it was almost like when I got in my car accident. I was in a left-hand turn lane, going to make a left, sitting on my brake at a red light.
Yeah.
The guy fell asleep, crossed the lane, hit me head on. But immediately, I get out of the car and I'm thinking, I'm a 19-year-old kid. This has got to be my fault. I must have been somewhere.
Oh, he was thinking about it differently. He was starting to get second guess if he was doing the right thing. That's crazy. That's kind of messed up from the other people's perspective. They shouldn't have done that. That's even more evil, in my opinion.
I must have thought that was a left-hand turn lane. I must have been in the wrong place. I must have been like this. Yeah, this has to be my fault, because obviously this adult that's driving this giant Mercedes didn't just fall asleep and go across lanes and hit me. It's got to be my fault. And so it kind of like apply that to like when you see that courtroom like that, right?
Yes.
You're like, oh, well, I must have done something wrong, and this must just be some process that like has to happen because like you broke the law and this is bad. But in the reality and in the culture and in this town,
yes,
like you're all good, bro. Because look,
right.
And then there's 41 letters, and then who knows who, like we were talking at lunch. It's like,
oh yeah, the people this is the crazy part. Oh my God, there's so many. This is one of the weirdest things Hollywood does, right? You can write letters to the judge, right? If you're some influential person, if you're just trying to attest to their character, right? But it's always these Hollywood types that get like 40, 30, 50 letters from people who are well known. And so it's just like, how do they even get these out? Like, how do you even ask people to write these letters? Be like, hey, this guy is accused of maybe diddling some kids, man. But actually, you know what? He's a good guy. He would never do that. Why would you, as anybody, ever risk your reputation on an allegation like that? Am I the only one that thinks that's like, even if it's my best friend, I would never risk my reputation because it's like, I care about this person, but if it turns out to be true, that's messed up that they brought me down with them. And so it's like a good friend would never do that, and I would not allow myself that to happen to me. Right? In the same way, I wouldn't allow one of my friends to go down that path too. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I would never allow any of my friends to try to even do something like that. But also, if they were asked to do a letter, I would say, no, don't do it. You could love a person so much, but if they gotta attest to their actions. I don't know. That to me has been one of the weirdest things that Hollywood does. And they still do to this day, which is because they did it with the Diddy case. They did it with even with the civil case with freaking Amber Heard. Like, come on.
How many people were like, bro, I'm not putting pen to paper. No, they're going to be sealed. Yeah, I'm sure. And then in 20 years, when somebody makes a documentary and unseals them, my name's going to be out there? No, sir. But I'll take you to dinner, and anything you ever need, man, I'm in your corner. How many of those were there that didn't write that?
So true.
Like, people
true.
So then it just becomes this onion of like where...
See, I didn't even think about that. How many... what's funny is like I just said that I would support my friend, but I would never sign that letter. But now it makes you wonder how many of those people were doing what I would do, but like what a smart person would do. I don't know.
Through this whole time, I thought like, okay, well, there's this bad person in Hollywood, and watch out for them, but you can find them everywhere, and right. Don't watch out when your kids are in soccer practice. Watch out when you're in your, in your office building, whatever, anything. But and it became, oh wait, it's not just there's like the protectors, and then the people who like are down to just I don't know. It's just it became this whole like, I was on the blacklist and there was a cabal, and I was like Raymond Reddington, ready to just like take everyone out.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about this in the doc, but for you to find these 41 letters that they discovered of people who were sort of writing, basically they were character witnesses.
Yeah,
and they were, what's funny? What's funny about these letters? They were some straight bullshit. they wrote some. Hey, if ChatGPT was around, Hey, I don't know. Some of these letters that they wrote were just complete bullshit.
Yeah.
Brian's, right?
Yeah.
Like, not that it was, I mean, obviously all of it's bullshit, but it was like, it was so obvious that they were trying to get, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's, there's a certain level of, like, you can tell, like, they're lying on purpose, you know? I don't know if it's just me.
Defending him.
Yeah.
And you and I talked, and feel free if you don't want to talk about it, of just like how shattering that was.
I read you one of them. I mean, you could give
it's fucking bonkers.
I mean,
it's
you
insane.
could give the audience a taste of what I mean from what that one letter. I mean,
it's absolutely insane, and unfortunately what was allowed, what was the group think at this time, that any of this could have been allowed in any respect. And at 14, I remember going, this relationship's inappropriate.
Yeah.
But assuming...
Well, remember my birthday at his house?
I remember that, but I'm not sure I was there.
No, you were there.
Or I think I left quite early.
You probably did. You probably left early, but it was weird, bro. It was strange. Like, you know, I was just in it, and you know, like, for me, like, you guys were there, and
Michael,
and the people from the show, and the you know, like, just camera guy. Like, it was like if we were having the birthday on set. It was the same. It was like those people, you know. So there was like sort of this, like, it's not that strange.
But even then, it is very uncomfortable. Dang. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. We're going to be reacting to more of these. Assuming they don't get copyright claimed by these Josh. He's notorious for that stuff. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think about all this discussion. I do actually have that question that I asked earlier. Do you actually feel it's a lot worse now? I would like to think so now that I've been, like, sitting here and watching this and thinking about it. I really think all this stuff is probably a lot worse. It's just that we talk about it more. But I wonder if it's because we talk about it more, it's, like, hidden better. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Love you guys. Check it out on the next one. Bye-bye. This video is brought to you, actually, by viewers like you. Thank you so much for subscribing and being part of my journey and allowing me to be a part of yours. Let's create new memories this 2025 on our road to 1 million subscribers. And with all that jazz out of the way, I just want to say thank you so much. I love y'all and enjoy the video.